Well, hello, all of my crafty friends. I am here today with the Something Old, Something New card kit hop. We are taking 2 card kits, we are taking 1 technique, and we are going to show you how to use multiple stamp sets in 1 technique. And the whole thing was to encourage you guys to use what you have. I have this Flourishing Green mirror card and this Berry Fizz glitter card from Tonic Studios. I have the little Terrace Deluxe paper pack from Cricut that I'm going to be using. I have my Nuvo surface sweeper and my anti-static powder tool. I'm going to be bringing out some of my Distress Oxides and the new Distress ink in Speckled Egg. So these are some of the colors that I'm going to be using. I will have everything linked down below. I will be using my Pink and Main ergonomic blending brush because it's growing on me. And this is my Flora and Fuma, I think, stencil that I'm going to be using. That's one of them. And then I'm going to be using the Simon Says stamp UR background stamp. And then for the kits. So I decided to use the May kit from 2019. This is an add-on. This was the 10 of brushes add-on that I wanted to use. And this is actually the actual content that came in the kit. For some reason, I hadn't opened this part. I guess I've just been playing with the add-ons, but it came with some embossing ink. It came with some washi tape. It came with some wonderful embossing powder. It is so glittery, like, tell me what you guys think about that. And then these really cute little clothespins, we got 5 of those. So that was the May 2019 card kit, and I am going to use the May 2020 card kit because I just got this one. So I decided that it would be very fun to create a card with that one as well. I'm also going to bring in the stencil that I got as an add-on with that one. This also came with those Karen markers, and I'm not going to use those today. So I've had my Cricut go ahead and cut out all my pieces to my card. If you guys are interested in seeing how I actually created this card, please drop me a comment below. I will be glad to do a Can My Cricut do that for you guys. So these are everything that I'm going to use. I'm just changing my colors. I'm trying to make the actual card look exactly the same. I want you guys to make sure that you look in the description box below so that you can see who is next on the hop. You can read all the information about the giveaways, and you can get all the rules and know where to come back to, which would be this channel, to see if you won our $50 giveaway to the Joy Claire shop. And what we're going to ask you guys to do is we are going to ask that you go into one of the groups. So Courtney Krieber's group is Handmade Happiness, and I'm a moderator in that group. And then I have the Krafttherapy group, which is my crafting group. And I'm going to add 2 albums into those groups. That's called Something Old, Something New. We want you to try to mimic what we have done, but use a different stamp set. Just one of the techniques that you've seen on the hop. You'll have till the end of the month to do that. And we want you to upload it, and that would be an entry into the giveaway. Now, if you would like bonus entries, then you can hop, comment, like, subscribe, and you know, as always, how I do it. Every comment is a bonus entry. However, you do have to do the initial entry for the hop. So as you guys can see, I have gone in and I'm using my anti-static powder tool. I used my Versamark Dazzle ink pad. I stamped that down with that background stamp, and I heat embossed it with some Judikins embossing powder. That is the Iridescent Sparkle. Now I'm bringing in that ergonomic blending brush and that Speckled Egg distress ink, and I'm coloring all over it. That's going to make that color pop out so that you can kind of see. I just wanted to add texture. I was not really concerned with the ability to actually read the text, although if you get close enough, you would be able to. But I'm going to be layering. I'm trying to get my feet wet, think about, test out, see how I like the whole mixed media look. So we come up with this, and if your background is still showing some of the ink, you can take a microfiber cloth and wipe that off. I didn't have a huge problem with that. It seemed to not sit on top of the embossing powder too much for me. So now I've brought out my splatter box, and I have bought out these Distress Oxide sprays. I just purchased them. This was my first time using them, and I wanted to play with them and see what I could do with this stencil. And I really liked the look that we got with that. And so I used 2 different stencils, one for each of the backgrounds, just because I'm thinking of a little bit of a variation. It will look the same in regards to outline, but you can make a little bit of changes and tweaks to your card. And one of the things that I wanted to do was encourage people. Like, I know we see a bunch of videos and we see a bunch of techniques, and it's great to love the techniques, but I also want you to understand that you can take something that you have and create the exact same technique that you see in a video without always having to purchase the next new thing. And also so that we give some of the things that we have in our stash some love. Like, how many of you guys, and I want to hear about this in the comments, how many of you guys have stamp sets that you've gotten in kits and you use it the month that it comes in, and then it just sits, it doesn't get used again, and then it gets destashed? Like, why is it that those stamp sets are only good for the month that they're used? And I don't think that everyone has this issue. I just think that sometimes we struggle because we're seeing newer things being brought out, and we don't really know how we can implement those things into our own style, or using just the technique and different images. So you guys see I've brought out a ton of Copic markers. I did not keep the coloring in. I had to keep this video to 15 minutes. Please forgive me. If you want to see the coloring, drop me a comment below. I have the footage. I can create something for you guys, but I did not leave that in today. So now I'm working on the rest of my panels, and what I'm doing is I'm bringing those stencils back in again. I'm going to use some spiced marmalade. I really wanted to try my carved pumpkin, but for some reason the cap is stuck on there, so I guess that is the ink that will never be used. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to outline that with some spiced marmalade, and then I brought in some yellow squeezed lemonade to finish that off. And then I'm going to use mowed lawn on the bottom of this panel. And I'm doing this twice because there are 2 additional panels to go with each of the cards, and that's what that's going to look like. Then I brought in the other stencil and some Mermaid Lagoon and some ground espresso for the other 2 panels. So here we are. We have all 4 of our panels. Now I'm going to take all of those images that I've created, and as you can see, I'm trying to create an outside scene with the image from this month, and I'm doing an inside scene. I don't know if you can really tell that, but I wanted to do kind of like a desk and a wall for the image set from last year. And what I thought was, okay, so I've got 2 stencils. I'm making a grounding portion and a sky portion or a top portion in both of them, but I was able to change it up and make one look like the inside of the house and one look like the outside of the house, just because of the images that are in each of the sets. Still the same technique. They still look pretty much the same in regards to layout. However, I am making them work with the images that I have. So I'm just adding in some additional images and the sentiments. Both of these card kits were very sentiment heavy. So although I believe in the one from last year, I actually used pretty much all of the images, but there still were a lot of sentiments in both of these. So I've decided to use that to our advantage and have multiple panels that had some type of sentiment written inside. So I'm going in with my Versamark Dazzle ink, and I'm going to use that purple sparkle embossing powder that came last year. I'm only using that one on one. I'm going to use some gold embossing powder just from my stash, some really old ones that I don't even know the name of them, for the other set. And I'm going to go ahead and use my Wagner heat tool and heat emboss that. And I have every single thing that I've used linked in the description box below. So you guys make sure you check it out if there is anything that you are looking for, wondering what I used or where I got it from. It is all listed there. So I'm going to bring in the pieces for my inside card panel or my inside scene. And I am going to start layering these pieces all over the desk. I'm kind of scattering, making it look like what most of our craft room desks look like when we get to crafting. And sometimes we do need 2 desks because it gets that real in our craft rooms. Or am I the only one? I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. But sometimes I have things like just laying everywhere. And I'm just like, I gotta stop because I can't even see what I'm doing anymore. So I wanted to make our craft desk and the beautiful outside that makes us super happy. I cut out the white portion on the inside of the second rainbow, just fussy cut that out. And I'm using just a black pen. I didn't even think to get a alcohol safe pen. I just used the pen that was on my desk, and I wanted to draw a stem and a couple of little flecks of grass on where these flowers were in each of our little scenes. I'm going to glue down the rest of that, and this is what we've come out with each of our panels. So now we're going to go ahead and start working on putting these 2 cards together. So when I went into Design Space, you guys know I like to do things that are kind of fun, a little bit different. And so I wanted to create some kind of fold, and I wanted to use the majority of the images in both of the cards. So I wanted to create a window. So I went into Design Space and figured out how to cut out a window, and I made a little fun fold for the front of the card. And I'm hoping that it all comes together for us because I did not do a test cut. I said, I'm pretty sure this is going to work out just fine. And you guys know that I work in 5x7, so this is a 5x7 card. I am gluing this down, but this goes the other way. You're going to notice in a second that I'm going to start opening it from the left and not the right, because that's the way it's supposed to go. And the way that I have it, I know that I have enough of a border because my diamonds on the front line up perfectly, and there's just a border on the outside. So we put that panel down, and I'm going to go ahead and double matte all of my other 3 panels. That's why you see multiples of everything. So the ink blended and Distress Oxide sprayed background is going to go on that front panel, and then the second panel, or the 2 panels on the inside, will create our little scene. So it's kind of like a very simple card when you first get it, and then when you open it up, you have this really cute little scene that you're seeing. I've glued my little image down on the front of that one, and we're going to start working on this second one. I'm going to do the exact same thing and glue everything down on all 3 panels of this one. And then I'm going to take that tin of brushes, and that will be my focal image for the front of this card. So this is where we are so far. I put in my tin of brushes, and now for final touches, I'm just going to add a big hello. This is from Waffle Flower. This is the Waffle Flower oversized hello sentiment. So I've glued that down on a couple of pieces of cardstock and then some black glitter cardstock, which is from Cricut. And I am going to finish this off. I brought out some purple and some green Nuvo drops. Now, since there's a hint of each color in the other card, I decided to use the opposite color on each of the cards. So on the purple card, I'm going to use the 2 green Nuvo drops, and on the green card, I'll use the 2 purple Nuvo drops. So I'm using a Nuvo drop and a Dream drop on each one of these cards, and I'm just sprinkling a few of them all around. And that is going to be it for these cards. I hope that this gave you guys some inspiration. I hope that you guys enjoyed what you saw today. I pray that you guys will hop along. I would love to see your comments. I hope that you guys participate in the giveaway. I love these challenges, and we do some type of challenge in our groups at least once a month. So hopefully you'll stick around and do a couple of additional challenges with us, but I hope that you will find the groups, which are also linked in the description box below, and participate in this with us and come back by to see if you are the lucky winner of our giveaway. I hope that you guys have a great rest of the day. I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of the hop. I hope that you guys are having so much crafty fun in your craft space, and I hope to see you guys really soon again in my next video. Bye-bye.